Hello, everyone. I'm Rays of Red, and I'm fucking bored. Okay, so I found this recently using a magical method known as sorting the YouTube search results by new to find new things. It's 3 weeks ago. Ian Danskin, aka Innuendo Studios. I am tired. I got home from work, and it's late. So this is the Past Due podcast, which is a podcast about uh poverty and living and stuff. Uh, their YouTube metrics aren't the best. They don't get. This is about how many views they get. I think this might be a little bit higher. A lot of them have like 43. It's like I'll say it's generally like 50 to 100. They're also on Apple Podcast, which doesn't show metrics. I looked, but someone might be a bit desperate. How are there 0 dislikes? Yeah, but Innuendo Studios, the guy who said he was going bankrupt because he was audited by the IRS after not understanding how Patreon and PayPal work, despite both websites saying how they work. But he was in a pretty substantial amount of debt, and I need to stop making that sound. He was in a pretty substantial amount of debt, and he asked the internet for help, and they helped because he appealed to BreadTube. I think a lot of it's at least like some of them. I know ContraPoints would sometimes use his little videos into their stuff, but yeah, people raised money for him, and he decided to take a sabbatical to Japan from all the nothing he does. But let's start this.
One thing you're speaking to is something that is very important to this show, which is about the anxiety around being transparent about your finances. I mean, it's just it is the engine that powers most of these conversations. And
yeah. Cool intro.
from the position you're in, and of course you aren't able to sit and psychoanalyze all of these people who are saying all these negative things, but I'm curious, do you feel like the anger or the negativity that's being directed at you, is it more from, I am, like, they're sitting there, I am mad that you have.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of this. He's pulling. I, I saw some of it. It's hard to sit there because it is all super softball. No, it goes more than softball. It's like they're very blatantly on his side. I don't know how much these people know about him, but I think he's desperate for anyone who will be nice to him. So, yeah.
Made me think about your finances, or I am mad that you spoke about your finances and people helped you.
Yeah, it wasn't that people helped him, really. It was the sabbatical to Japan. Supposedly that was canceled, but yeah, the mental health sabbatical from a guy who makes the something I could make in like Microsoft Paint in like a day. I mean, maybe research would take a day or two, but I think I think he uses mostly the same book. I'll have to check that, but
There's like a spectrum of it. Some of it is just straight up resentment and, like, it feels weird to say, but like jealousy, right? That like someone sees an outpouring of support that they don't have or don't think they could have.
Because they wouldn't spend it on a sabbatical to Japan. And actually, I think he's going to the UK next. People are mad when money that they give to someone is misappropriated. Also, fucking rookie mistake going on vacation. You're supposed to buy MLP merch.
And of course, they're going to feel resentful about that. And like, I will cop to the fact that like, I am hyper aware that a lot more people than me need the kind of support that I've gotten, and
a lot more people wouldn't have fucking wasted it.
A lot of them are not in a position to get it, and so some of that resentment is valid. It doesn't need to be directed at me. That's not helping anybody.
Okay, but it should.
But I absolutely agree that, like, yeah, lots of people should be able to say, I need help, and most of them aren't going to get nearly twice as much as they asked for. Some of it is also, like, I have spent my...
Was that a cut? No, don't fucking change the volume. I hate YouTube controls.
Get nearly twice as much as they asked for. Some of it is also...
Yeah, that was a fucking jump cut. What did you cut out? This is a podcast. You're not supposed to jump cut with podcasts.
Also, like, I have spent my career poking the alt-right with sticks, and...
It was not the alt-right that got mad at you. It was not just the alt-right. I mean, the alt-right would have always hated you, but now fucking everyone hates you. Everyone except for this one podcast with 1.77k subscribers.
So right. I've got a lot of, like, hard conservative people who are looking for any reason to try to destroy me.
No, again, that's another fucking cut. What are you cutting out? This is an interview. Nobody wants, like, maybe they're cutting out silence, but, like, give us the experience. Like, from a PR, I don't know anything about PR, but personally, I feel like cutting around, during something that's supposed to be like, oh, I'm putting myself out there emotionally and being so vulnerable, that kind of ruins that feeling you're trying to give. It doesn't feel as raw, and it's obviously trying to be very raw and vulnerable. So, like, I don't know what he's doing.
And are going to see...
Or I guess not him, what the podcast hosts are doing.
Any display of vulnerability as an opportunity to, like, dogpile on you, and make it harder for you to ask for that help. They also just, like, periodically throughout my career, they flirt with the idea of, what if we destroy his life with a harassment campaign the way...
Yes, the alt-right harasses sometimes. I've had an old video, like, dogpiled, kind of, but they're just weirdos on the internet. Like, obviously, like, things like doxing, that's awful. But, God. I'm just gonna be honest. Ian Danskin is not, like, is far from the biggest left-wing figure that people are really worried about. They're jumping on this because what you did was fucking stupid. And I don't want to say he's a lolcow yet. He's getting there. Give him time.
We've destroyed a lot of other people's lives with harassment campaigns, and...
Oh, no. This, again, not a harassment campaign. People are mad that you took money and you used it stupidly.
I will cop to the fact that, like, as a cishet white man, they tend to get bored of me pretty quick and move on.
Yeah, you also don't fucking post, like, ever. Like, the videos, it doesn't justify, like, they can't justify that poor upload schedule when you're a full-time YouTuber. It's like...
On in a way, like, people have been hounded for years for way less than the stuff I've done. But that being said, it is still, like, a terrifying situation to be. Like, what if this is the time they don't get bored? What if this is the time they actually do, like, show up at my house to shove dead animals in my mailbox, which is a thing that happens.
I don't... I mean, maybe. Yeah, people... I mean, everyone... There's always people who take things too far, but... I don't. I'm like really tired. But you're not that important. People aren't like attacking you for this because they want to take you down because you're the number one enemy of the alt-right, because it's only alt-right people who are mad, apparently. I'm apparently a part of the alt-right. But I'm not even mad, just like, it was something stupid and now people are using it for content because it's funny to point and laugh at the stupid guy. You know, significant amount of content on the internet is, haha, look at Dum Dum. And unfortunately for you, you are now that Dum Dum. And we are pointing and laughing.
Happens to people when these folks get mad enough at you.
Again. No. You don't think anyone who gave money and then saw you plan a trip to Japan got a little mad? Do you think... No, you don't think it's all the alt-right. You know, but you can't be like, oh, people got mad at me that I used their money wrong. Because that wouldn't make you a victim. That would make you the victimizer.
Some of it, I think, is just like an entitlement.
Again, the jump cuts. Like, just let it be the normal way he talks. It's supposed to be a raw, unfiltered look at this guy explaining himself. It's supposed to feel personal.
To content, this idea that, like, if you are a creator of any sort, you should be working in a particular way, and
no, I mean, that his upload schedule makes no sense, and the videos he produces do not need the level of financial support he gets. Like, other bread tubers, like, whether you like them or not, people like Philosophy Tube or ContraPoints or H-Bomber Guy, the people who give them money see where that money is going because they make content that has things like set design, on-location filming, costumes, music, animation sometimes. Like, there's a reason it takes so long for those videos to come out. There is no reason it should take as long for alt-right playbook type content to come out if you're doing it full time. Like, if I didn't know better, I would assume the channel was just like someone's hobby that they did whenever they felt like it in their free time. It's not full-time YouTuber quality. And, like, again, like, it could be made by someone who has a full job in their free time. Not by someone who needs a significant amount of time to work on the content they make, to the point where a full-time job would interfere with that, which would justify for a lot of people paying to support the creation of that content, and paying so that person can be a full-time YouTuber.
That, you know, just the basic, like, capitalist mindset of...
You can't blame capitalism for the reason you fucked your taxes up, dude. Yeah, I know, the system is terrible, the world sucks, money is shit. Or I guess having money isn't shit, it's... yes, the system is broken or whatever. That doesn't mean you didn't fuck up. You can't blame it. Officer, I hit those kids in my sedan because of capitalism.
If you are struggling, it must be your own fault. And so I've...
Okay, but in this case it is. It is your own... I gotta do the fake over dramatic. But It is your own fault. You fucked up with the taxes. You asked for a bailout, and then you decided sabbatical. Yay! Let's spend the money that people thought was going to one thing on something entirely different.
Had people like say things like, why wouldn't you just move to the greater like Dallas metropolitan area, which is
No, they were saying don't take the Japan sabbatical. Or read how Patreon and PayPal works so you understand that money is taxable.
so much cheaper than where you live, as if like moving doesn't cost money, as if like networks of friends and family are not important, as if like my health insurance isn't tied to the area that I live and that's going to be different, or as if self-employment taxes are cheaper anywhere in the country, you know?
He's debunking a point that, like, no one is really making. At least online, maybe personally. I can't say no one, but this is not the main argument against you.
It's people who don't know about your life, and their world is simpler if they remain in ignorance about that and just assume you could be fine if you weren't such a loser.
You admitted to fucking up your taxes really badly and getting audited, and you admitted to the Japan sabbatical that you were planning.
I feel like I need to do a couple things here. One is that I need to put y'all in touch with some better accountants, because there are...
Okay, yeah, she's gonna give him real advice. What are the chances he doesn't check it?
are ways around some of the freelance tax stuff, which is, being an LLC or an S Corp. And I've been very fortunate to have inherited from my intergenerational wealth in-laws, had a really good accountant that turns out actually per hour is not that expensive. So I can recommend him. Might be able to...
Stop trying to help him, lady. He doesn't want to help himself. You're not gonna save him. You can't fix him. I don't know why you'd want to. You cannot fix him.
Help you out. So many other thoughts. When I think in systems, and that's another thing that I feel like that's what my job is as well, what I've made my job. I think about how much of the harassment would dissipate if we had universal basic income.
Yeah. Don't drag the UBI discussion into it. It doesn't deserve it.
And nationalized healthcare.
I mean, yeah, but that's not going to stop him from not understanding taxes. I know the U.S. tax system's kind of fucked, but... Ooh, also, I just noticed that's Star Wars wallpaper. That's cool. Better than whatever the fuck Ian is sitting in, but... I know it's a progressive channel. They gotta talk about progressive politics, and yeah, healthcare is broken. Yeah, just everything's awful. We're all gonna die. Yay, whatever. And I keep getting distracted by her background. 'Cause I think that's Edgar no, that wouldn't be Edgar. What am I saying? At first I thought it was that one. Whatever. I'm tired. And unlike this fucking podcast, I'm not gonna cut anything out. Because I'm real.
Because it's the anxiety about all of that turns people mean.
But maybe don't take money meant to save you to do a sabbatical in Japan. For your quote-unquote mental health. You know what's really good for your mental health. not being in debt to the IRS. Pay that off. That's a great mental health tip. Don't go into debt.
Right? Like if other people knew not just like how you would be freed by universal basic income and nationalized healthcare, or more free, right? A lot of creators would be able to focus on their work, not because they could live on UBI, but because like you would know, like, all right, like I've got some space here. I've got some mental space. Another thing maybe we'll follow up on, but how other people's anger can be dissipated if they know they have enough to live on, right? Like
we're going back to they're just upset you got help and they didn't. I would be pretty pissed if people who completely fuck up when they get help instead of some of the people who would not fuck up.
Like, not all of it alt-right is alt-right, but even
it's not the alt-right. Stop blaming the alt-right.
then I feel like some people this is a classic thing, right? Like people get radicalized to the right.
But I've seen set through some of this. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they never, ever bring up the Japan sabbatical. I'll be surprised if they do, but there's no good way to spin that.
Because they're experiencing capitalism in the same way that other people on the lower end of the economic and spectrum. Not I see you shaking your head a little bit. It's not always what happens. I mean, there's a basic sense of. I mean, you have to maybe start with.
There's a head bob, not a head shake. I promise.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I know, like, people becoming Nazis sucks, but I feel like a broken record. Japan, sabbatical, money, misuse.
Like, there are other reasons too, but I do believe that economic scarcity and class resentment and racial resentment can be like the brew that sends people to the right, And so if you take away,
I don't need to have radicalization described to me.
one of those things, it might help some. Like,
yeah, always. I mean, like, it's why we talk about like intersectionality, right? Is like the way that people struggle on the axis of class, they are able to attribute the other resentments they have to that, right?
No one is attributing pent-up class rage to you. You are some guy on the internet who fucked up. You are not Christ being crucified.
It's like, oh, I'm broke, let me blame immigrants for it, as opposed to like,
yeah, and you're not an immigrant, or you're not a minority people tend to blame. You were a guy who did something stupid, and people are mad that you're stupid.
in the systems, and it's not like that resentment of immigrants magically goes away without it, but they all feed into each other and amplify each other, and so anytime you take away one source of fire, the other fires like have less to feed on. That's how fire works. Fire burns other fire, right? It's a brilliant metaphor. You see why I make my living off of this.
We've got a whole lot of fire. Like, we just did an interview where fire was like a good thing, so but we contain multitudes. I also want to say, appreciate you acknowledging cis-het white guy as being part of the equation.
Oh my god, no one cares. You fucked up with money. Oh no. The discourse is starting. Save me. No, not the identity politics.
As well, because it is when a creator who is not that gets a lot of attention that those fires, again, the bad kind of fires, can get turned up super high, right? Because the resentment, it's someone being rewarded for doing what they love, I think makes some people very, very angry.
If he loves it, why does he hardly do it? Again, they would be good for a channel that was a guy's hobby. Like, some of the points they make it's pretty good at like putting their ideas into little bite-sized pieces. A lot of it doesn't even exclusively. Personally, I think alt-right playbook is a bit of a clickbaity title because a lot of the tactics are just any sort of grift is gonna use, like remembering one specifically, you can't get ducks or you can't get snakes out of chicken eggs. That's just how a lot of dumb ideas spread. They're simple and repeatable, and that makes them more mimetic or whatever. Did you know I'm smart? I know the word mimetic.
Yeah, people want you to suffer for your art, and
again, we're supposed to jump. They don't want you to suffer for your art. Well, I want him to suffer. Oh, no, I can't say that. No, I'm being mean. I've become alt-right.
or at least suffer for the content that they consume.
There's not suffering, there's effort. And justifying the money you're asking for. I get, like, Patreon for the content. People paid for that. In that case, they knew what they were getting. But, like, the big problem out there we're ignoring is the money raised to pay off his tax debt and not being used properly.
I think they also want you to be scared like they are.
Scared of the IRS.
Scared to put yourself out there in a...
Put yourself out there, like what? Once in a blue moon. What do you do with most of your time? It can't be spent on those videos.
In a way that they might feel, and they can sometimes be resentful of people who fight through that anxiety and make something. You know?
Yeah.
Make little animatic stick figure thingamabobs with text on the screen and put out like one a year.
But here I want to get to the burnout question.
How are you burnt out? You barely make anything. And you don't have a full-time job. Like, I know I don't post super often, and I don't have the highest quality stuff. But first of all, I work like an actual job, and also my computer's ass. I need to fix that. I don't know why I said ass like AVGN, but I'm channeling the angry nerd. I'm not playing a video game, but I'm angry and I'm being a nerd.
And the demand for content question.
Again, as a hobby, no one would be upset with this channel if it was a guy, like, no one would bat an eye about the upload schedule and the simplistic quality. If this were just some guy's hobby, you could easily make these and have a full-time job. And people are fine with most of RedTube's upload schedules. Like, H-Bomber Guy, nobody's mad that he doesn't make videos fast enough. Or I can't say nobody, because there might be somebody, but they're fine with waiting for something that obviously takes time. And again, his content is, like, irrelevant. Or maybe a little bit, because the whole you could make this while having a job thing, so why are you in debt? But, like, this isn't about his content as much as it's about Japan. Money, misusing money to go to Japan. You know, people like to give money to something and have that money do what the thing said it was gonna do.
Which I struggle with a lot. Because I've just had to come to terms with, like, I'm not a newsletter person. I mean, I have one. Everyone should subscribe. But I am not someone that's going to just easily churn out 3 newsletters a week. Right? Like, that's just not that kind of writer. And
Okay. But you make other... Fuck, I'm just gonna look terrible. Oh, crap. Yeah. How often does this post? You're posting way more than Dan does. So, again, and also, there might be more on Apple Podcasts. See how often they post here. 1 day ago, August 13th. Yeah. Not the most... but a little bit more understandable to have burnout when you're not posting 1 video a fucking year.
I feel like in newsletter world, which is kind of where I live, well, journalism world, I don't want to live in newsletter world. What's becoming the norm is having a newsletter and just like boom, 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 boom. And it makes it harder for me to do good work.
Did you send the newsletters to Japan? Then God, I've said Japan way too many times.
That's what I'm thinking I need to do.
Yeah.
I'm not even doing the work to get burned out. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
I feel like I'm not even...
Wait, why did it jump to him when he said yeah the first time, but not the second time? Keep your editing choices consistent.
I'm not even doing the work to get burned out. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
I feel like I'm not even producing enough to say that I'm burned out because I'm not producing, but it's thinking about having to produce almost.
Wait, I mean, yeah, sometimes like I scrapped something because it wasn't coming along well, but like it will take way longer just because like editing, you think about it and it's like, oh God. Except in my case, it's usually after I've worked the entire day.
It's the mental
sort of the expectation too, right?
Yeah.
The expectation that you'll have to produce at such a quantity that you.
But I don't like these people. I'm sorry.
You don't really feel comfortable at.
Yeah, it is. I every once in a while like try to remember that when I was getting started, I was maintaining a monthly schedule. I was putting out a video every month, and I've spent a lot of like my latter career where stuff has been a lot less frequent. It's kind of been like when it's done, and sometimes that means it's 4 or 5 videos a year.
Why? What else are you doing in your life?
And I think back to like, wow, I started out, I maintained a monthly schedule and I was freelancing and I was a part-time student. What happened? But then I asked myself like, well, is there any amount someone could pay you to live the life you were living at that time? I was like, oh my God, no, I was so fried. And that's a big part of why the pace is slower now is like, it's not so much that the workload now is intense, but because you've only ever partially recovered from when you were actually maintaining that because...
Oh no, I made videos while I was a student. I had to do more than one thing. I'm sorry. Most people go through this and still... they still make, and they also don't get audited by the IRS and ask people to pay for it.
You know, you never really gave yourself the space to fully recover. And I remember...
I had to recover in Japan. And then I need to recover in the UK. Salute.
This game designer who wrote this thing about burnout a long time ago. It's funny because it's John Blow who, like, we don't like John Blow anymore. He said a lot of messed up stuff, but he wrote this thing about burnout a long time ago and he was saying how, like, your body knows what happens when you apply yourself fully, and so it resists. It, like, refuses to let you work at peak capacity because the last time you worked at peak capacity...
Oh, the outro music is playing over. What is the editing choices here? Do you think in the last 19 seconds it'll bring up fucking Japan?
You tried to stay there longer than was healthy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that music is way too loud. Like, aren't you people, like, semi-professional? You can probably hear I'm playing with my little dragon. I call it chat, so when I'm not actually live, I can still talk to chat. Chat? Is he a fucking idiot? I am 7. But, like, maybe they just wanted a big YouTuber, like, for exposure, and this is a guy who's desperate enough. But it's obviously not working. If he were a bigger deal, this video would have more than 100 views in 3 weeks. People would be all over. Okay, I gotta read this description. Video essayist Ian Danskin, aka Innuendo Studio. Also, it's funny. Ian Danskin and a video about Dance Burst. Ian Dance Burst! The anti-zoophile playbook. Anna Marie Cox, an open mic eagle, for a brutally honest, it was not, conversation about self-employment myths, alt-right harassment, and the impossible demands of online creative work. Ian opens up about what it's like to be dogpiled for being vulnerable. No! Why the internet treats creators like punching bags. You made yourself the punching bag, buddy. Not the victim blame, but this is your fault. This is all your fault. How capitalism fuels resentment. You know what? Yeah. The fact that you got fucking money. It's a fucking waste.